Hello, everybody, and welcome to Your Voice Talk Show. Your Voice, Real Conversations. Sonia Graham, author of It's Time to Uncover Your Original Blueprint. If you're joining us for the very first time, just know that this is a real conversation, laid back conversation. We're not talking at you, we're just working to bring good information that will add amazing things to your life. So then the more we know, the better we can do and the better opportunities we can have for our families and our future. As an entrepreneur for over 30 plus years, I've learned so much along the way, and technology has enhanced some things, but there's still so much that we don't know. But there are people that have that information. So, my job as a talk show host is to get the valuable information that can enhance and change your life. So today we have a great opportunity, a wonderful show. Many people talk about personal credit, and that's very important. And that's a whole other show we've had before, and we will have it again. But what we're talking about today is business credit. So often, many of us that are entrepreneurs have businesses, and we're sowing our own personal money into our business and running our businesses. So there's a better way to do things. And so the main thing we need to do is know how and what that is. So business credit is one part of it, but the ultimate goal is going to be generational wealth. And today I have an amazing guest on today. I'm going to bring Miss Rosalind into the room. This is Rosalind Whitley. And I'm going to tell you a
Hello.
little bit about Rosalind. Rosalind, thank you for joining us, first of all. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Let's tell you a little bit about Miss Rosalind. So she is the owner of P is for Planning LLC Promoting, which is promoting generational wealth for at least 5 years. And she's been an entrepreneur for 8 plus years. And she's worked with for-profit and non-for-profit business and companies providing strategic partnerships and planning for Fortune 500 companies. So when I decided that this is a topic that I wanted to make sure that we can empower people and help them, I had to find an expert. And let's talk about that word expert. Expert means it's something, number one, you've experienced and you've gained knowledge from, or also that you've actually had the benefit of resolution and outcome of that solution. And so Rosalind has helped many companies and businesses do that. And meanwhile, she has learned how to create a toolbox and assistance to help other people do that as well. So, Rosalind, welcome to Your Voice Talk Show. And I want to ask you first, what what gave you the passion or desired direction to even want to embark on business credit or generational wealth?
Okay. So I started my entrepreneurship journey at the age of, I want to say, 22. I was
Mhm.
fresh out of college, got my bachelor's degree in legal studies, became a paralegal for the city of New York.
Mhm.
Um, and was pretty much working that everyday 9 to 5, or in my case, 8 to 4. And I just, realized that I was coming home feeling defeated, not being able to share my ideas, share my goals, share, pretty much work with anybody that I wanted to work with. I felt like it was a dog eat dog environment. And for me, that just was not okay at all. So I did my 8 to 4. And when I came home, I worked as an entrepreneur. At the time, I had a business that was called IE Associates, and I was providing services for pretty much businesses or entrepreneurs who just like myself, working that everyday 8 to 4, 9 to 5. Um, I would say definitely during COVID, I decided I wanted to revamp, and that's how Peace for Planning was formed. Definitely because I wanted to be able to teach. Um, every time I spoke to my clients, the one thing they kept telling me was funding, funding, funding. That was the only thing that was holding them back, and how they didn't want to be able to work all the time to be able to even get the revenue that they wanted for their business. And
Mhm.
so, I started to instill business credit, leverage your business credit, don't use your personal credit. Apply for grants, get that money, because it's money out there for entrepreneurs. They want us to be our own individuals, and if you're not happy with your 9 to 5, not by all means, I'm not saying quit, but if you want to be a boss, you have to jump. If you're gonna jump, still keep your job, but start working on structuring your business properly. Start sitting there and maintaining, everything you need to maintain to structure everything, and then be able to take that leap, because now you are your own boss.
Yes, yes. And speaking of being an entrepreneur, it is risk. It's a risky thing, and I like that what you said, jump. That means
Mm-hmm.
trust yourself. Every day we go out and we're being leveraged by a job.
Yep.
That knowledge, that expertise, those gifts and talents you have, it's not that you're not using them. You're just not using them for yourself, or you're harnessing them and they're not being used at all. So, and a lot of times it is funding and money that stop people from realizing their dream of being entrepreneurs. But first, most, you have to have the courage to jump. So I love you said that. And what I love about you, Rosalind, is how young you are and how you've discovered uh, what it's like to use your own gifts and talents to leverage and be an entrepreneur. Nothing wrong with 8 to 5, but if you can use your own gifts and talents and have that financial freedom, because what I mean by that is, if you have to go to a doctor's appointment or all those things, you have the flexibility and you don't have to answer to someone. So it's a good feeling. And at the end of the
Yes.
day, if you know it's going to be a slow month, to save your resources, and maybe you can't do this or that. But if you work for a company, a lot of times you can work for many, many years and never miss a day or none of those things. And you show up one day and the doors are closed or you're getting that pink slip. So it's all a gamble, but why not gamble on yourself? And so that I'm so excited and so proud of you, Rosalind, that
Thank
you've
you.
taken the courage and you've jumped, and that you're passionate about helping other people jump and giving them the tools to jump, which is the funding. So one of the things that I want you to tell me a little bit about is, what is the best way? You talk about a company. What's the best way to structure a business to create maximum funding and credit for business?
I would definitely say going the C Corp LLC route. Um, Again, every time I talk to my clients, I kind of, cannot shy away from the fact that I love law. So I kind of give a little advice in the sense of, because of my paralegal background, but and as my clients know, that I definitely do that. But LLCs and C corps definitely protect you. They don't not only provide the best type of funding, but they definitely protect you in the long run with any type of business. I would hate to, and knock on wood, I would hate to, have a client be a sole proprietorship, and say something happens, and then their personal assets are tied into their business,
Mhm.
and now they're going after their personal assets as well
Right.
as their business as well. Whereas with the LLC and the C corp, you're protected. For me personally, I'll use myself as an example. I have a trust. My trust owns my holding company. Holding companies are the greatest thing, because I like to think of it as an umbrella.
Mhm.
The umbrella is the holding company, and then you can instill all your LLCs, your sole proprietorship, or your corporations underneath that one umbrella, as well as a nonprofit, and then be able to actually have that holding company fund your LLCs each. So not only is my trust giving me funding, but my holding company is giving me funding, as well as each and every LLC, nonprofit, or C Corp that I have created. So now that's giving me about 5 different types of funding opportunities.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that holding companies are literally considered low risk. So if you are actually, you build your business credit, you go, or you are looking for business funding, and you go to the bank, underneath your holding company, you're likely to get funding because it is considered low risk. You're not really doing anything with your holding company except for pretty much using it to be that umbrella for your other companies as well.
Wow. And that's a whole nother thing. There's so many levels to business. And like you talk about holding companies, parent companies, what is all of that? It's so many, you can say the 101 business or entrepreneurship. but it's so much people don't know. A lot of people know about DBA, 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 and yes, they're
Yes.
easy to get,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of limitations to a DBA, like you said, and you don't have the protection. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have, you never know what can happen, and you don't ever want your personal resources to be at risk, and the liability of that. So that is awesome. And I know that one of the things can you, because it's so much information, what me and Rosalind decided to do is to not only have this show today, but we're actually going to turn this into a series of 5 parts, right? And Rosalind, do you have that breakdown of what that's going to be? Just so people know that we don't expect you to get everything today. This is going to be a
No.
process, and we want to take it slow so you can really retain it and have some success at gaining generational wealth. Do you have the breakdown for the five
Yes,
series
I
and how it's going to work?
yes, I do. So for the first week, which is this week, we will be discussing business credit. The second week, we'll be discussing grants. Free money is out there, whether you're a nonprofit or for profit. I want to be able to break down exactly how you can get grants, how you can sit there and, find the grants, how you have to pretty much write the grant proposal, the wording, the structure of everything. The
Mhm.
third week will be about federal contracts. Make the government your client. I've been instilling this on my Facebook page with my clients, with strangers. The government is just taking from us. So why not have the government be our client and able to and actually give us the money that we deserve? Um, the fourth week, we will be discussing everything between trust and shove corps and really breaking down LLCs and corporations and C corps. And then the fifth week will be a surprise that will lead you to the generational wealth that you would like to basically achieve.
Perfect. Now you guys see why I have Miss Rosalind, because it's so much, guys. It's a lot, and it's just taking the time to really understand it, getting clear, transparent information, and understanding it does take some sacrifice. It does take some discipline, and it does take you to jump in order to move towards this. But I am so excited about what we're doing together. And I'm so happy that Rosalind has teamed up with Your Voice Talk Show to bring this information to our audience so that they have a better opportunity of gaining generational wealth. We're talking legacy money. We're
Yes.
talking making sure your children's children have a start and are going to be okay. And that's the bigger picture. Sometimes we're living paycheck to paycheck and we're just thinking about, those things for next month. You look up, oh, is it the first again? But the important thing is it's bigger than all of that. And it's so many things. You see all the things she mentioned, all of those go into generational wealth, and we know so little about it. So another question I want to ask you, Rosalind, is how important is it to build business credit?
It's very, very important. What I would say is, as entrepreneurs, we invest our own money where we can be using other people's money, OPM, other people's money to be able to fund and invest in our business. Again, I'm really super, I mean, my clients can attest, I'm so transparent to the point where I'm like, hey, whatever you invest in is your, in your business the first year or the second year or something like that, you get that money back in your taxes. So you're pretty much fronting with business credit, building the business credit for your business, investing in it, and building the business credit as you're investing. Same way that you're able to, discipline yourself with personal credit and pay everything on time, you're actually doing it with business credit, but it's different. It
Hmm.
takes forever to get a perfect score with personal credit. Whereas with business credit, you only need 100. I'm sorry, 80 to 100, and then the paydex score can be 80, and you can be able to obtain things like um auto loans, or you can be able to attain things like corporate leasing for Airbnbs, or heck, even someplace that you would like to live at. There's just so many things that you're able to do. You can leverage it to be able to pay for payroll for your business, or be able to fund, another business. There's just so many things that you can do with your with your business credit that, without using your personal credit, no personal guarantee. But yes, you just have to be disciplined. You have to be willing to jump. You have to be able to structure your business properly. You have to be able to, market properly. You have to be able to, be in it to win it. As I always say, you have to be able to plan to win.
Plan to win. I love that. I'm gonna adopt that. One of the things you mentioned in that what that funding can be used for, and this happens a lot. A lot of our businesses are a lot of businesses lack funding, therefore they end up wearing all the hats and doing all the work. And depending on, in most businesses, I don't care what type of operation it is, everybody needs help. You cannot wear all the hats. There's so many things that, and if you're doing something is lacking, something could be even more successful or next level by having a staff or some kind of help, and this is so crucial, especially in the Black community. You have a lot of people that are entrepreneurs, but most of the time they're wearing all hats,
Hmm.
and they're funding their own business with their personal money and things like that. And there's only so much growth that you can obtain running a business at that type of level. There's only so far you can go, because the other part of business, once you're out there marketing and you're getting all that information out, you're getting to the people and they're starting to contact you. If you can't handle this and service those clients or produce the products, keep up with demand, then that's another way that you're not going to be successful.
Yes, I
It's
mean
just,
statistically, 60 to 70% of businesses fail in the first 3 years, mainly because they don't have the proper funding, they don't have the proper structure. They're pretty much wearing all the things, all the hats in their business, and they're pretty much burnt out. Whereas, as I stated, with business credit, you can start to build business credit immediately. As long as you structure your business properly, apply for that DUNS number, you can start from the bottom and build your way up to get the funding that you need, that you desire. Um, Getting that six-figure funding that you would like for your business is something that can be achieved in 120 days or less. Um, so, for me, when I speak with my clients or when I share posts on Facebook, it's because that statistic is so discouraging. I just
yeah,
do not want a minority owned business or just any business in general to be
right.
in that statistic anymore. We're at a day and age where um, our generation, we pretty much can run this. This is our realm, you know? We was instilled in us to go to college, we get the perfect job. Nowadays you go to college and you're still at a job where you're not getting the money that you are, that you
Right.
pretty much spent 4 years, writing papers, staying up all night, kind of partying but still being focused. But and then you're like, okay, I'm at a dead end job. I have friends who went to college and then they're working in retail, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, it's like, but you went to college and you sold on this American dream of going to college, getting what you need to go, going to the corporate world, and it's yours.
Hmm.
Where now I'm not, discouraging college because I went to college. Um, but now it's like you're in college and you're in debt, and you're in
100%.
debt and you're unhappy. And now you have to pay rent, and now you have to live. And now we're in recession. The last recession that took place, I would say, was in 2008, and I was a teenager still, and I wasn't thinking about recession. But now, s- m- more than a decade later, we're in a recession, and I'm like, you know what? My business, my business, my business. I need to make sure that I don't feel this recession. I need to make sure that my business is recession proof. I need to make sure that I'm okay. I need to make sure
Right.
my family's okay. I need to make sure everything's set in motion. So therefore, because we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of years, to make sure that I or anyone else do not feel it. So that's one of the things I definitely, definitely, definitely constantly talk about with my clients. Prepare yourself, plan. It's in the name itself, peace for planning. But
Absolutely.
plan, because you just never know what's going to happen. And with
Absolutely.
business funding and using other people's money, you're taking the first steps.
Love it. Love it. As you guys see, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments, or you can actually text 832-428-1123. This is an interactive show, which we always want you guys to be a part of the conversation. So please text any, there's no good or bad, there's no bad questions, no stupid questions. All questions are valid. So get your answers. That's why we're here to answer those questions. So please, and we'll stop and we'll answer some of those questions because we want you guys to be a part of the conversation. One of the things I just want to kind of piggyback on what you were just talking about as far as like the student debt. You know, that's so say if you have your business, you do have a business and you have student debt as well. Just leveraging and learning how to do the funding and stuff is gonna it's gonna give you more access to your own personal money, so you can take care of that personal that school loan or whatever else, your personal debt or whatever. Because when you're in business to make a profit, right? To take care of other things. It shouldn't be the other way that you're in business and your personal life has to take care of the business. That's it happens that way initially, but it should be
Mhm.
a shift. It should be a shift. So, can you tell me how do startup businesses build business credit with no revenue?
Okay, so this is what you do. With business credit, you're able to structure your business. Structure your business, I mean, you go to the IRS website, you obtain your EIN number. You obtain your EIN number, depending on the state, you go and get your LLC paperwork. Get your LLC paperwork, you want to be able to do the following things. You want to be able to make sure that you have a business email account. You want to be able to list your business on a 401. If you are currently working from your home, you want to be able to have a virtual address. I strongly recommend getting a virtual address before you even apply for the EIN number. Um, then from there, you want to be able to, list the 401 if you can. I'm sorry, not if you can. Get your DUNS number. You want to go to a website called www.dunnandbradstreet.com or dnb.com, and then you want to be able to obtain your DUNS number. It says it takes about 30 days to get, but you know what? You can get it within 24 hours. Once you get your DUNS number, then you want to be able to, pretty much apply for vendors from tier 1 to tier 4. You want to be, tier 1 being Quill and Granger. They automatically give you a credit limit of $1,000. And luckily up to 2,000 depending, but mainly $1,000 they give you to start up with. Once you have that, you start to build. You're gonna buy little miscellaneous things. Like for me, I bought toilet paper, I bought laundry detergent, I bought, pens and pencils. Um, Bought that, paid for it. You literally within 2 weeks before the deadline. I always ask when I apply, when do they report? I wrote everything down. I was completely organized, so I knew for a fact, okay, this is coming up. It's due the 6th of November. I'm now going to pay it on October 15th. Don't touch it until you know for a fact they reported on the 6th that week. Then you touch it again. Something as simple as sacrifice or investing $50, and then paying that $50 in full back, and then watching it increase your business credit score is what's going to take it a long way. Once you're able to do that, and within 3 months, you will see that 80 paydex score, and then you'll be able to start getting offers in the mail from American Express and Capital One for 25,000, 30,000, or that auto loan from Ally. Ally is the best. Everyone knows that. Um, where you're able to get that Mercedes or that G wagon or that Lexus or the Jeep Grand Cherokee underneath your business name. But it starts with, again, investing in yourself, investing in your business. If you invest in your business, then you're investing in yourself. That's
Yes.
pretty much where it takes you.
That's awesome. Isn't this exciting, guys? I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm empowered. You know, a lot of people, you struggle, and it already takes a lot of sacrifice to run a business, extra time that you may not have that you're using to do it. But now to have that hope and that to be encouraged and empowered that we can truly have successful businesses because the resources are available. So we actually just posted right here. You can see to where to get you done. These are the items that you need. Is that correct, Rosalind?
Yes. So when you apply, you want to be able to put your business name. You want to be able to put your virtual address. You want to be able to, pretty much put your revenue. Now, if you do not have a revenue, put your projectile of your revenue, something that you think that you'll be willing to obtain. So if you're gonna you could put 50,000, you could put 100,000, something within the year, but make it obtainable. Put that as your goal, because when you establish your Dun and Bradstreet and you look it up online, they're gonna say that revenue, that's how you make. But you have to prove your business as well. You have to prove that's legitimate. So you have to put your EIN number. You have to give them your copy of EIN number, and your copy of articles of formation. um and then from there they'll do a review, and then you'll receive an email with your DUNS number.
Okay, and then this is so guys, this is a time to ask some questions. I have questions already, and I don't want to be the only one asking all the questions, because I actually get Rosalind after this. But you guys have an opportunity to get your questions answered. So please chime in and ask your questions. Somebody on here is saying, yeah, we need these resources. This is great information. But if you guys have any specifics, one thing I want to speak to is something I experienced is that forming corporations, that was one of the things we talked about initially. There's different ways to form them and reasons why you put managers or different things. So don't think that it's just black and white. There's particulars to it. So one of the things we will talk about, you heard her just mentioned about getting a vehicle in the business name. So one of the shows where I'm sure we're going to give them some information on that, correct?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so it's real. That stuff is really happening, and it's just having an understanding about the proper way to do it. And so that's what we're going to do. But the reason we have five, we're going to do like a series, is to make sure that we take you guys slowly. Okay, so we had a question here. The first steps as a new business owner. So as a new business, what was the first thing you would tell them to do?
As a new business, I will definitely pretty much tell them, before they even incorporate, the virtual address is number one. Their virtual address establishes legitimacy in your business. No one, unfortunately, when they start their business, they're not automatically given an office or a place of business. So establish that virtual address first. You want to go to websites like regis.com or opus.com, and be able to pretty much pay a monthly fee to be able to, get to get the virtual address. Then you want to be able to go to the IRS and get the EIN number. Depending on the state, you want to, if you're, let's say I'm in New Jersey, I can go to, my New Jersey portal and get my LLC. So I normally tell my clients to Google their state, but you want to put their state LLC. Go to the official state website. That's pretty much where you go. You're going to start your business. You're going to use that EIN number to get that LLC. Once you get the LLC, then you want to be able to get the DUNS number. Um, get the DUNS number. Backtrack a little bit. I'm sorry. You want to be able to open up a business checking account. You want to be able to open a business.
There
Yes,
you
the
go.
business checking account is super important. So
And
EIN, LLC. I'm sorry.
keeping things separate, right?
Yes, yes. EIN, LLC. You want to be able to write something called an operating agreement. Then you want to be able to go and get a business bank account. Those three documents that I listed, that EIN number, the LLC, which gives you either the certificate of filing or the articles of formation, they're named differently in every state. Um, create an operating agreement, then be able to go to your local, bank. I strongly suggest I strongly suggest going to I'm sorry. I strongly suggest using credit union to be able to get to do your business bank account, because they give out so
Yeah.
many credit opportunities and funding opportunities for your business. Afterwards, after you have the business checking account, then work on marketing. You want to 401 list your business. You want to be able to Google list your business. You want to do a website. Even if it's not, a perfect website, create something like a landing page, something completely simple.
Yes.
So, when you start applying for these vendors to start building your business credit, they can see that your business is legitimate, because to be honest, that is what they do. You can do it online, you can apply online, or you can apply um over the phone. If you apply over the phone, then what happens is that, they're searching. They're on the phone with you. They're asking you questions, but they're literally Googling to make sure your business is officially legitimate. You do
Perfect.
not want them to deny you at all.
Right. We have another question here. It's a long one. I'm going to read it to you.
Yes.
Okay, from C. Mark Jones, it says, I have horrible personal credit. I formed an LLC for a transportation company 2 years ago. My rig is paid for, but needs work to be legal. I haven't been able to generate any income with it. I'm having trouble getting startup capital because I keep running into PG
PG.
issues. I am not making enough money on my regular job to secure funding as well. Any lenders out there that don't need me to PG or make more than $5,000 a month? I guess he's asking, are there any lenders out there? What is
There
PG?
are.
Personal
So
guarantee?
PG means no personal guarantee.
Okay,
So pretty much what he's asking is he's running across when he's applying for funding because his personal credit is not good, they're asking for a social security number.
right.
Um so pretty much personal credit not being good, you kind of get denied. There are funding opportunities, Mr. Jones. We will be discussing them in pretty much this program, this platform. So please
Mhm.
stay tuned. A lot of funding opportunities for you. And, I'm pretty sure I know exactly you are. I'm pretty sure if you would like, we can definitely have a conversation about your personal credit if that is something of interest to you. But as far as business credit and funding opportunities, there are methods and ways to pretty much bypass that. That is again something that we will be discussing in the next four programs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, oh, wow. Yeah. It says this is good information. Wasn't even aware of such of so much you've mentioned, and there's a lot more
Oh, you're
to it. I would
welcome.
say, you know, interesting enough, when we first start talking, Rosalind, you're talking about in your arena of other experts or people that call themselves experts in this. How deep do they dive, or what does that mean? Does that mean that you had personal success when they're saying that they're expert, that they have personal success? Then now they're going to go ahead and help people do that, but the expertise, as we mentioned, goes deeper. It's understanding of that it's not just business credit, there's business funding, there's so many things, just like, and that's why I said, oh my goodness, we cannot just do one show. We've got
Yes.
to really, in order for them to have these amazing takeaways and really gain generational wealth, we need to break it down. So yes, it is a lot of information, and I am so excited to know Rosalind and know from her background all the information and the fact that she's here to share the information with us. So I have another question for you before we go to another question for the comments is, it says, how do you establish a strong business credit profile?
Okay. So for me, and I'll show you my method. For me, I'm super organized.
Okay.
So I have a spreadsheet of, all the vendors that I have and who they report to. Um, Pretty much I check, I pretty much ask every vendor that I apply for, when do you report? It is always best to pretty much pay 10 to 15 days before the invoice is pretty much due or before they report. And pay in full if you can. And if you can't pay in full, then pay literally majority of it, 80%, 75%. So let's say if you spend $1,000 and pay 75% of that, $1,000 within, that net 30 term.
Mhm.
But pay something. Do not miss any type of payment at all, because as fast as you can get that business credit, it's going to be really hard to rebuild if you don't do it correctly. I can't tell you how many times that people have really just started over by starting a new business because they completely messed up their business credit,
Um,
and then they will have to sit there and contact Dun and Bradstreet because either A, they're pretty much in collections, or B, they just don't know what to do or who to go to, or pretty much things like that. So for
right.
me personally, when it comes down to business credit, you have to be super organized. um one thing I always discuss when, especially with my clients, is, hey, that spreadsheet goes a long way. It may not, it may be a little asinizing, but it goes a long way to be super organized.
Mhm.
It's okay to ask questions. It's okay, to scope out that vendor. Also, the one thing I will say is you have to make sure that that vendor is reporting. So many times I've seen, people uh they pretty much purchase things and then it's not reporting properly. Because it's not reporting properly, you know, it is now your job, even though it's the vendor's job. But a lot of, things happen. You can self-report. You can call them. You can call Dun and Bradstreet. You can call Experian. You can call Equifax. You can say, hey, I've had this vendor for 2 months, 3 months, a month, and I purchased something and I don't see it yet. You always want to give it 30 days if you just got the vendor. I will say that. But if it's like 3, 4, 2 months, 6 months, and you have not
Yeah.
seen any type of reporting whatsoever, self report.
Mhm.
Self report.
Yeah, that's awesome. We have another question there. And before we get to this question, there was a question about the virtual address. Can you
Yes.
verify that that's not a, is that a website address you're saying when you say virtual? What are you saying to get a virtual address?
So a virtual address, you can obtain virtual addresses through certain websites. And what happens is, depending on the company, you can utilize that virtual address to actually hold meetings there if you want to pay extra. But the purpose of the virtual address is basically to retrieve mail for you to pretty much legitimize your business. You want to legitimize a business, you go to get your virtual address. Simple steps. You give them your information, you give them your business name, you give them your personal name, you give them um, you know, all your business information. Then what you do is you want to fill out a form, a postal form called
Mm-hmm.
1583. The postal 1583 form pretty much allows that receptionist for that virtual address company to basically retrieve mail on your behalf, and then you can have it forwarded to your house, or if it's close enough you can pick it up. But you have to fill out that form 1583 because they have to be able to retrieve mail on your behalf. Otherwise it's going to go in limbo, and unfortunately you don't know what type of mail you get, but you might get something like IRS related, or tax related. And I just
Yeah,
want to be able to stress that 1583 form is super important. You fill it out, you get it notarized, you give it to the company that you're using, and then you collect the mail whenever you get it. And in certain companies, if you have an iPhone or Android, they have their own app. They can actually show you the mail that you have so you know what to look forward to.
that's awesome. Resources again, technology and resources. We have another question there. It says, when you apply to vendors and your account is created, can it be deactivated due to inactivity? Given my LLC isn't operational, so I don't want to be spending too much monthly.
Okay. So here's the thing. Every vendor is different. You want to obviously be able to double check. So if your LLC is not fully operational, again, even if you invest $20 or $30, I mean, I'm pretty sure, for the people that's on here, they have their vendors. It gets kind of expensive. I'll never forget, I was on Granger when I first started, and I was thinking, okay, I can just get office supplies and things like that. And it was like a pack of pencils or a pack of pen for like, I don't know, $25. I'm like, $25, I can just go to Staples and get it for cheap, especially it's back to school month. But,
Right?
again, investment. I was able to, when I did that investment, I was able to just put it on my expenses when I did my taxes, and obviously you get the money back. But the
Right.
point is that you want to be able to do something. Something is better than nothing. So if you can use your 8 to 5, I'm sorry, your 8 to 4, your 9 to 5 to pretty much invest, you're gonna practically be doing that anyway. The first,
Yeah.
first month or second month, as you're building business credit. The goal is to be able to build business credit, so therefore you don't have to use your personal money anymore. You can
Right.
use other people's money. The other people's money is the banks, the government, all that
Mhm.
stuff. So again, you're investing in yourself. $20 a month, isn't a lot. Um, but again, just get things that you normally would need for yourself. So again, like I said, when I was building, I stacked up on laundry detergent up the woo.
Right. That's really good. Oh, that's really nice. Okay, so let's have another question for you is what's the difference between building business credit and business funding?
Okay, so business credit. Think of it like, obviously credit in general, but business credit is coming from, lines of credit. So you want to be able to, your credit cards, your credit cards, your like Capital One or American Express. Those
Mhm.
That's business credit. That's a line of credit. That's just, additional funding for you. But the difference with business funding is now you're building business credit to be able to apply for loans,
Mhm.
for SBA, for term loans, for capital. Um Again, a lot of people don't know that when you're applying for SBA or you're applying for term loans or you're applying for lines of certain lines of credit, they actually do look at your business credit as well as your personal, especially if you've been business in business. I'm sorry, especially if you've been in business long enough. Sometimes if you don't have good personal credit, your business credit will actually carry you over to actually getting the approval that you need.
Wow.
Again, something that people don't know. But yes, they look at both of those things and they obviously make that decision. I also stress about business credit and why it's so important. With obviously being able to get the funding, you want to be able to build uh, friendships, partnerships with the people that you get the funding or the credit from. So therefore, if you are in that, you know, that box of, hey, I want to increase my credit limit, you totally can. Especially if you have that sales manager that you need, that you've been working with.
Hmm.
So many times I can definitely tell you that you have one specific person to work with, account manager, and
Yes.
then they give you that $5,000 that you're asking for, and then 3 months later, let's say you want to double it, you go to that same account manager, and they're gonna make sure, because they know how you are, they've have history with you. They're
Yes.
gonna make sure that they work with you, in the long run.
Yeah.
So definitely build that rapport, that partnership with funders, with lenders, with creditors, with vendors, to be able to get what you need. That is so important.
Yes. Relationships are very important, just in general. And like they say, people do business with people they like, and people help people they like. So
Yes.
it works all the way around. Um, I want to kind of go back to we're talking about business and building business credit, but I also want to talk to the fact about taxes and just real brief, just basic stuff, where so many of us or people in general, you have a business and you're using your own money to fund the business. Therefore, a lot of times the business is taking a loss based on your taxes. But the business at some point has to make a profit in order for this picture to look right. Because then the next thing, one of the things we're going to talk about is that financial picture.
Mm-hmm.
Your finances and all the things that they're going to also add, depending on what type of funding that you're looking for. There's other things that are going to be requested, and you can't continue to take a loss, a loss, a loss, and loss. It doesn't, things have to kind of level off. And can you just briefly, just not deep in that, but just kind of give some overview of that conversation that I'm just trying to just kind of open the door a little bit to understanding, but not too deep.
Okay. So with taxes, and I just want to say this, um, millionaires are millionaires because of how they structure their business and their taxes.
Yeah.
Um, Generational wealth. Again, as I stated, when you do your taxes, whether you are a sole proprietorship, and obviously with sole proprietorship, your personal taxes is pretty much tied into your personal taxes, right? Which is super important as to why you should LLC and C corp, because it's two separate things. As
Yes.
I stated, millionaires and general wealth is created based upon how you structure your business and the taxes. So, again, your investment, anything you do in general with your business, you pretty much get back. Um, Again, you structure your business, you get the money back. The holding companies, everything that I discussed as far as, my umbrella, and I use myself. I have a trust. My trust has its own tax. I have my holding company taxes, getting money back from there. LLC, 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 taxes galore pretty much. But again, that is exactly how you create the funding and the generational wealth that you need. We see these, celebrities. We see, these wealthy people, the CEO of Amazon and Elon Musk, and they're pretty much building that wealth because of their business. And it's something so simple.
Yeah.
And all they did was just take the time. All they did was invest in themselves. All they did was learn. All they did was ask for help. All they did
Right.
was just do the necessary steps in order to become, you know, the
Yes.
millionaires and the billionaires that they were destined to be, that they knew they could do and they could become.
Yeah.
So, again, we hate taxes. We definitely
And
do.
then,
And you know what they say, the more money you make, the more taxes come out. Um, which is true. But on the hindsight of it, you're
it
rich.
helps you
Yeah,
by
pretty much.
making by showing a profit. It's going to help you. So don't be afraid. So I just wanted to kind of, you know, when you think here's my philosophy as an entrepreneur is you're a business meeting the needs of other business. So size, when you talk about small business, you can have a multi-million dollar business and be considered a small business.
Hmm.
So just having an understanding that it's not the size that counts, it's having the ability to fulfill whatever service or product that you're delivering at the level that you need to do in order to be successful. And
Yes.
that's where this business credit is going to help you take your business to the next level and get you sitting at the right tables you need to be sitting at so you can service those clients that are at those other levels. Maybe you're yet to reach. So that's
Yes.
what we want to make sure you're able to do. There's a question here. It says, should I get a business bank account before I start buying from the vendors to have all those purchases in one place and for also tax purposes? Or can I use my personal debit credit card?
Definitely you want to get that business bank account. For several reasons. Again, organization skills. You're pretty much purchasing and then using your business bank account to pretty much repay it back. That's perfectly fine. But also, what a lot of people do not understand is having a positive business bank account does goes a long way. Not only are you providing, getting the funds you need from that business bank account that you personally have, but you're also pretty much showing other vendors, the higher vendors, that you
Mhm.
are, capable of actually, being in a positive banking relationship. So in the future, let's say again, you start from tier one always, but when you get to tier four, you're gonna start seeing, all these offers in the mail, and it's gonna be so
Yeah.
great. 40,000, 25,000, 50,000. But the reason why they do that is because by tier two, tier three, they're gonna start asking you for your business bank account. They're gonna be able to know that they want to be able to know that you do have a business bank account. Um, Sometimes, depending on credit report or whoever who is reporting to the credit, it actually helps you build business credit as well. Having a positive bank relationship also helps you build business credit and will go a long way. But
Yeah.
again, the number one thing I would definitely say is business bank accounts give you the positivity with that is that eventually when you build your business credit long enough, um you can actually utilize that business bank account to get the business funding that you need.
Yes. Before we go to the next question, I wanted to talk about years ago how things have shifted a little bit. Years ago, if you had a purchase order for something, say you had this contract with the city of Houston, it was in some ways considered credit itself because it's like a future purchase, a future investment for gains, right?
Hmm.
But that changed. And I just want people to understand that's why it's important because you can no longer go into a conventional bank and say, hey, I have this. And then they give you the funding against that future purchase or profit. So, even more reason to understand how you have to have your own resources to fund those services and products yourself, which is the information. So there's so many shifts and changes have happened when it in the business in the frame of mind of how business even banking works, and even credit cards. You keep saying credit cards in the mail. you can have 800 scores, and the interest rate you're getting on these offers that come in the mail is ridiculous. I'm like, why would I? Why would
And
I
you will
apply
not
for
see that
this?
same interest rate with business credit. It's a lot. The interest rate is a lot less.
So
Um,
there we go. There we go. So there's a whole nother value to. So really, being an entrepreneur is very valuable.
it is.
It's very valuable. So all that hard work you do is so worth it, and it could just change your life by having the understanding on how to leverage it properly. And one thing I also want to mention is about the mentality with banking. We're going to start to wind down and make sure you guys have information, and we point you to a tool that we want you guys to have access to before the next show that we have. But I want to talk about commingling. So,
Mm-hmm.
when you have a corporate account, you cannot, the way you use your funds is not the same. Like if you have a DBA, you take something out, it's not looked on as seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But as a, can you just speak briefly to that? And of course, I know we're going to dive deeper into that, but just kind of give them a quick understanding of what I'm talking about, commingling.
So, when you have a personal account and you share that personal account with your business account, and that's the separation of everything, um, pretty much what happens is kind of like it kind of gets a little messy. They don't take your business completely seriously. Um, so you have to like that's why it's super important to get the business bank account first with your business and separate everything.
Yes.
Again, as I state, one thing is you have to be super organized. I know it's tiring to have all these different, you know, bank accounts and you have your personal and this and that, but I will tell you this. You can get as many bank accounts with your business um and pretty much double, triple, quadruple business funding or business credit. You can leverage it to your ability.
Yes.
Sometimes when you do it with your personal information, they'll tell you, well, you have this open, or you all of a sudden check systems comes on. But with business bank accounts, you can get as many as you would like, um, and then get as many offers, and it will not affect your business at all.
Right. That's right. So, what I would like to do right now is because we again want to point you guys in a direction to get you guys ready for the next four opportunities. But number one, I want to show you guys, and you can always contact your voice at talkshow@gmail.com to always get information on how to contact and get information from the guests. But if you did not get your question answered and you're watching this on replay, put your questions in the comments and we'll answer those at that time. But we are blessed to have an opportunity. One of the resources that Rosalind offers is it's called Business in a Box. And she has blessed us with a discount code for purchasing that business in the box. And can you just kind of give us an overview of what that business in the box pertains?
So I want to be prepare, every type of entrepreneur as possible. So I work with many different industries: trucking, real estate, um, e-commerce, pretty much nonprofits, anything that you think of. I pretty much worked with. And the one thing I stressed about, and I'm pretty sure everyone's afraid of, is this recession. So for me, I have advertised a business in a box where I personally have these one-on-one meetings with you, and I figure out exactly what you will want for your business and what your goals are, and I put it all in a box. So if you want to learn business credit, if you want to sit there and pretty much make the government your client, and get a federal contract, if you want a business plan, if you want to be able to leverage properly, if you want to be able to apply for grants and be successful at it, with these grant proposals, pretty much everything is in the box and it's personalized specifically for you. Nothing's generic about it. If you reach out to me and we have our one-on-one meetings, everything will specifically have your name, your business, any type of idea I may have that you're more than welcome to use to pretty much make sure that your business is going the way that you would like it to go, and pretty much prepare you to be to pretty much be a six-figure person or a six-figure business, or that multimillionaire.
And this is her website where you're going to go to see that information. You're going to go to www.psforplanning.com, and then they click on the menu, and they're going to see business in a box. And then when you go into the cart, there's going to be a place where you put in the code, and you'll get the discount. Again, I want to give them kind of heads up on what are we going to be talking about on the next show. So stay tuned. Keep an eye on Your Voice Talk Show. Share this, and you'll see the next date. What's our next scheduled date for the next show? It's 2 weeks from today, right? We're
Yep, it
doing them
was
2 weeks
2 weeks
to
from
give you
today.
guys time to chew on the first information you get. We're giving you 1 week to do that before we come back at you. So what is that date, Rosalind?
So the next date is the next date is the fifth. I'm sorry, the sixth. The sixth will be here. Pretty much discussing the next funding opportunity, which is grants, free money, federal and foundational. But there is free money for free grants or free money for every type of industry, and I just want to be able to pretty much share my knowledge in it, how to go about it, pretty much what to do, lingo, everything, because I really want every entrepreneur to be able to take advantage of the fact that there is funding out there. I'm pretty sure everyone was scared when COVID happened. But can you imagine if there wasn't any type of program um, that pretty much will allow these businesses still take into effect and still be up and running during a
Yes.
pandemic? So, this program is going to pretty much get you to where you need to be as far as funding.
And the nice thing about it is, me as an entrepreneur, I mean, that's what I've been most of my life. And Rosalind reminds me a lot about like me growing up. And so it just encouraged me just to take her under the wing. So we're going to be doing a lot together to further this platform. And, it's our goal that many of you obtain generational wealth and establish those legacies that your family deserves, and their kids and their kids and their kids, and us as a Black community in general. This is debunking the crab mentality. We want to share the information and empower everybody because it's here and it's available. It just takes the time to give it and make sure it's transparent, good information that works. And I'm excited to hear the testimonials, and that's what we want to hear about how you've you've obtained this information, how you've used it, and how it has changed your business and your life. Yeah, we want to go with you guys along this journey. So this is just not a show. Again, this is Your Voice Talk Show where your voice matters. We have real conversations for this very purpose. So we know you guys' time is so valuable, and we're so grateful that you took the time to tune in and be with us. And we hope that if you got in on the last bit of the show or you missed it, that you hit replay. And for me, this is going to be one of those shows that she gave so much valuable information. So thank you, Rosalind. So if you got
You're
to
very
fast
welcome.
forward it, stop it, whatever you need to do. And when you come back 2 weeks from now, bring your pencil and paper because it's a lot of information we don't want you to miss. So
Yes.
thank you guys for tuning in to another Your Voice Talk Show. Rosalind, it's been my absolute pleasure to host you, to team up with you to bring this amazing platform to our community and to the world as a whole. I'm so proud of this platform. I'm proud of you taking, it's like to me, in your own hands, the opportunity to make a difference.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
that's huge for you to be as young and care so much to do that. And meanwhile, just impact and empower so many. So, again, Your Voice Talk Show, please like and share Your Voice Talk Show. Please share the platform and then please tune in 2 weeks from today, right here, and we'll continue this journey to generational wealth. Thank you guys, and you have
Thank you.
an amazing, what is it, Sunday? And
Yes,
it is Sunday, right?
it
It's
is.
Sunday. And is there anything that you would like to say before we close out because that's so important. We've got like 5 comments that are chiming in on here. Let me just see if there's something. Wow. So a lot of people got some really good. This is powerful. Awesome. Let me just share some of this with you, Rosalind. It says, hearing tonight confirmed me to open business account. And again, a lot of people, we've been doing business for years, but we just didn't know. A lot of things we do because
Yes,
it's just what we do, So this has been amazing. And I'm so proud to be a part of this journey with everybody for generational wealth. Because with the
yes,
funding, it's no limit to what we can do. There's
definitely no limit at all.
no limit at all. So I hope you enjoyed yourself, Rosalind.
I did. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. We're looking forward to 2 weeks from today, continuing this journey. So you guys, please, please, please share this platform and make sure that we get as many people as possible on the same journey to generational wealth. We'll talk to you real soon, and you guys tune in. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.